Hey everyone, first off, I would like to apologize for the very long hiatus of not posting any YouTube videos. I looked today and it's been over a month since the last time I posted something, so I greatly apologize that there's reasoning behind it. If you follow me on Twitter, you probably already know, but for those that don't know, I recently took a job as the director of baseball analytics for Quincy University. They're a Division II school in Quincy, Illinois. And yeah, I mean, a lot of moving stuff around, and I lived up in the area where there was a big rainstorm, and I lost power for a week during that time as well. So, again, I apologize for the long hiatus without posting anything, but here we are, we're posting again, and as promised, as I mentioned on Twitter, I'll be showing you guys how to make a really basic web application through RStudio called Shiny. That's the framework for web applications. So simply to start, how I always start making web applications, I'll say File, New File, and you go down to Shiny Web App. Now, I don't know if this will appear on your screen, but it'll bring up a little menu where it says New Shiny Web Application. Application name, you can name it whatever you want, but I'll call it Baseball Data for now. And then I will keep it as a single file just for simplicity's sake, so you guys can better understand what's going on there. And then it'll ask you, like, create within your directory. So usually it'll just say create within your working directory. So in this case, my working directory is documents, and then it'll just add another slash and create a folder named R. So I'll hit create, and boom, you get a basic application that comes up, and I will show you here shortly what it looks like. So it's just a basic web application of Old Faithful geyser data, and it will just pull data and show you a plot. So let's get right into that one. So after clicking Run App in the top right corner of the code bar, this is what will appear. So it'll just give you a local server, real basic Old Faithful geyser data, number of bins, and as you adjust, the bins adjust as well. So really fun stuff, and what we're going to do now is, from a previous video, my last video a month ago, we're going to take that Statcast database that updates daily, and we're going to throw this into the web application and do really some basic stuff with it. Again, right here is where you'll click Run App for the app to run, and now what we'll do is we'll move on to the Statcast database. So one thing that I would like to note first is that folder structure that you created for this app. So again, in my case, it will be in documents/R, and then the title, which in my case is baseball data. So you will click inside of that. Unfortunately, I can't show you because I'm having trouble screen recording my folder structure. But you'll go into whatever folder you named it as, and you will copy that Statcast database into that folder structure, so that way you can read in that data and be able to create something like this. So real simply put, grab that Statcast database, find the name that you named the file of this web application, and put it in that folder. Now that we're back, I'm going to run through real quick what kind of this framework is doing. So with every Shiny app, there's a UI, which is a user interface, and a server. And what they both do is the UI is the user interface. You got your slider inputs, your plots, and then the server is what really makes it click. So real simply put, you have a fluid page, then you have a title panel, which you saw the Old Faithful geyser data, and then sidebar layout. So that little gray area where it had that slider input, that's your sidebar layer. Main panel is where you'll put plots, tables, charts, etc. And on the server side, so let's say you have plot output, dist plot. How to render something on the server side is output, $, and then whatever you named it. So real simply, I will change this to, now instead of saying plot output, I'll say table output. Then I'll just say table. And then same goes over here. So just make sure you change it to table. And instead of saying render plot, you'll say render table, because we want to make a table. And then I will remove all of this for now, so we can get that going. So real simply put, we will name this, we'll say this SC. Don't worry about SC right now. Just keep it as is. So what I'm going to actually do up here is add more libraries. So from that Statcast Database video, we'll load our libraries in DBI. We'll also load in our SQLite, as well as Tidyverse, because we want to have both data manipulation and graphs. So we'll have those four, and then we will connect our database. So we'll just say db equals db connect SQLite with that parenthesis, and then whatever you named your Statcast database. So Statcast underscore database SQLite. So again, if you have not watched that Statcast video, please do, so you can set up a database, or scraping a full year of Statcast data with some simple steps. Watch that as well. That can also arrive at the same thing, but I named this as, Statcast underscore database dot SQLite, and it's under an SQLite file. And then to add code, SC is we will get that query. So we'll say db get query. And our connection, so conn equals db, and our statement is simply select star from Statcast data underscore 2020, or whatever you named it. Again, in that video, I named this particular table within this database Statcast underscore data underscore 2020. And now we'll change some stuff around. So the title panel, again, real simple. It's just the title. So I'll say title panel, and I'll say Statcast data in 2020. And then I will change this slider input. So the first argument of slider input is what you want to reference as in the server side. And I'll show you that in a second. So instead of saying bins now, I'll say EV. And you'll kind of see where I'm going here. Then we'll change this. This is what it will display on your screen. So instead of saying number of bins, we'll say exit velocity. Put a colon there. We'll keep the minimum as 1. That's fine. And we'll say max 120. And we'll set our value at 60. Now we'll go into here. And again, that's where the SC comes in, because it's labeled as a data frame. So here's how we'll involve that input, that slider input that we created, as well as sampling down the data frame, because again, it is a large data set. So just for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you a very short version of it. That way you can get faster load time. So SC piping operator, again, dplyr package to indicate more code is coming. And then what I like to do in this case is use the package name before the function. So I'll show you this. So dplyr :filter. So that way we use the right filter from dplyr, or the right package, I should say. So filter, and we know that our column for exit velocity in the Statcast dataset is launch speed. So I'll say launch speed is greater than or equal to input $EV. So essentially what that does is, as we change the slider value from, say, 60 to 70, our data set will filter and say only keep results where the exit velocity was more than 70 miles per hour. And again, You don't have to type this. I'm just going to type this for the purpose of our video. Sample n equals 10. It'll just take 10 random samples. So I will hit run app, and then I will show you the magic behind a Shiny app. Now we go into our Shiny app, and this is where the magic really happens. Again, it gives me 10 random samples, and the columns might be a little bit different. I know in my Statcast database, I know I didn't mention in the video, but my Statcast database always starts with player, batter name, and pitcher name. Yours may look a little bit different, but you can scroll along and see all the numbers spit out for a particular thing, description, etc. So this is cool. Now, again, based on this input, I will change this to, let's say, 100. And you can already start to see some of the values change. So now we can see, okay, yeah, it's giving me a weird game date. Don't worry about that. I'll need to convert that into a character date. But for the most part, you have all this data, and now you have it in a web app. So yeah, so what we're going to do here is I'm going to essentially do a series on this, and I'll show you, like, breakdown, a few parts here and there, but this is a real basic framework. When you hit the run app and adjust with whatever you want, and you can add more stuff. There's a lot more you can do in Shiny. Don't think this is all you can do. There's a ton more, and my plan is to kind of go into different parts and show you, break it down, so on and so forth. That way, once we start getting more and more data, you can not only run this table, but run it rather quickly with the amount of data that's in a Statcast database. So thank you so much for watching. I, again, apologize for the very long hiatus, but now that things have started to normalize on my end, I'm going to start posting once again more frequently here around and get you the content that I know you guys want and love. So, thanks again for watching. Have a great rest of your day.